All right, let's go over the answers to these. So how about make your own logical categories if that will make your results easier to discuss or interpret? Is that a thing you should do or not?
You should do.
Yeah, so we saw that where like we had the categories with the news and like we said, okay, science majors versus like art majors versus humanities. So how about comparing demographic data?
You shouldn't.
Please don't do that. You can talk about it, but that cannot be one of your visualizations. How about finding connections between your data and the reading?
You should.
Yes, absolutely do that. Analyze uninteresting data that don't connect to your hypothesis or hypotheses. Should you do that? Yeah, don't do that. Use an appropriate method for visualizing your data.
Yes.
Yes, do that. Use single demographic question as one of your data visualizations.
No.
No. How about describe, visually represent results that are multiple survey questions combined together? Yes, that is a requirement. So you have to take at least two questions, a demographic question and then an attitudinal or behavioral question. What about label your visualization so someone can understand the data just by looking at the image?
Yes.
Yes, you absolutely should do that. So thank you everyone for participating in that. This is summed up here. I have a few like disclaimers. So like you can, such as it's okay to point out an interesting trends that are connected to your hypothesis. So if you said, well, we thought there'd be a division among gender with who reads what, but turns out we were wrong. That might not be that interesting, but it may be interesting because, you know, it disproved your hypothesis, but make sure you're connecting to your hypothesis. And then interesting trends that are not connected to your hypothesis, like that maybe something emerged that you weren't expecting, like feel free to bring that up, even if it's not connected and you want to point that out. And I'm also pointing out like those demographic questions, they're not connected to your hypothesis. And then you can mention this information, these single demographics in your in the methods, and then also the intro and conclusion paragraphs in the results and discussion, but it's just not part of the analysis, the body paragraphs. Any questions? Everyone, I think, is just so excited to get started on the data. So I'm going to leave this, but the one thing I do want to bring up is what should you do if one of your group members is absent or you just otherwise don't have their data? What do you think you should be doing?
Contact them.
Contact them? Yeah, see if maybe they can text you their data and tell you what data they have. Or if they're not here. Anything else? So, it can be up to you. Like you can decide like we're not going to use your data because we're going to do the analysis, or we're going to do the analysis that we can right now. And hey, group member who's not here or without the data, you are going to have to like reanalyze this or redo these results so that your data can be included. So you can it's okay to put some of that responsibility on a group member who's not here or just otherwise doesn't have their results or hasn't collected the data. So it's up to you. You can make that decision. If you end up going with like saying like, oh, we're gonna, like we have 3 people here of 4, so we're just gonna do 75, then that group member gets a 0 for their surveys. Keep that in mind. So if their data isn't included, then they get a 0. So make that decision. It's up to you. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, so who feels ready to start sorting some data?
I feel ready.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. So right now, that's what you're going to do. Who has Bauder's group, or is Bauder here? I don't see him. So I have Bauder's surveys. So who's in Bauder's group? Anyone? No, he has a group. You're in his group? Okay. So here, go ahead and take his. But right now, get in your groups. This is your time to do some data surveying. So I'm going to come around. I'm going to check in with you, and I'm going to be checking to make sure that you have your results, so I can give you credit for all your hard work and asking those questions. So find the people in your group. I'll put the things up and get working.
For the so we have to submit